one personally and one by phone call, about a secret meeting of Councilors West, Councilor Baszler, and myself. I asked for people to, I'm the kind of person, I'm much more concerned with what people know than what they think or what they've heard. I like facts. I like proof. The members of this council, some are my friends outside the meetings, some not so much, some acquaintances, whatever. In this council, they're all my counterparts. And I don't believe for a moment that any of them would be foolish enough to blatantly step over the line, both ethically and legally, especially after county commissioners lost their jobs over it. So until and unless someone were to bring me proof of these meetings, I take it with a grain of salt. We don't always agree. I don't have any reservation that they're all above that. If I'm wrong and somebody brings me the proof, rest assured I will have a personal issue with that, and professional. What all of us do reflects on what any of us do, reflects on all of us. The other citizen that approached me, who happens to be a storage client as well as a personal
RAPA, Land Regional Air Pollution Authority, is that correct?
Yeah.
I know they keep changing names. And there is a meeting at the high school on September the 18th at 6 p.m. in regards to the presentation of the Oakridge plan to attain, and I don't understand all the terminology, there's a lot to it, the PM 2.5 standard.
Attainment plan.
Attainment plan, thank you, there's our anyway, that they are going to have people there so you can ask them questions, those kind of things, and
which I'll get to. As far as the secret millionaire money, last Friday was the last of the original disbursement, which means all the letters have now been drawn, they've been prepared, and they've been dispersed. We have a lot of checks that are still there because there's people that are out of town for one reason or the other, or couldn't come in. The next step in that process is we have the resubmissions, the people that originally submitted documentation that was incomplete or not the correct information that was the donor required. Those submissions are, we actually extended the deadline. The attorneys told us we only give people 7 days to turn those in, but we received such a volume of those back in the mail from the post office that I left it open for resubmissions until all the original disbursements, because we had people come in looking for their check, at which point we gave them that from the post office saying, and it came back to us, you need to resubmit. That process ended at 5 o'clock on Tuesday night, so that all those resubmissions are going to be gone through now, and those checks will be written and dispersed. We anticipate, and I use the word anticipate, that doesn't mean it's a guaranteed thing happening, but we anticipate that that will be next Friday, the 14th in the morning. We have a group of wonderful volunteers that again will be here on Monday, and anybody who hasn't put their check out prior from the original disbursement can also go through. We have to wait 8 weeks to do anything else with that money and to find out, until we know exactly how much we'll have left over, if any left over, because people have a chance to come in and pick those up for 8 more weeks. That is set by the attorneys so that people have that point in time. We plan on putting a notation on the bottom of the water bills at the end of September to let people know that if they haven't picked that up, they can. We are not going to be opening that. There's difficulties in that, and it was publicized. It was in the Dead Mountain Echo. It was on the original that they had to do it in June. It went out in every water bill. I know for a fact because some people told me that they saw the reading program for the library and they threw that paperwork out. It was included with that. So a lot of people threw their application out. That was not by no oversight or responsibility, on our part. We met our requirements to try and make that new. The remainder of the money, I don't know what will be done with it. When all is said and done, the dollar amount will be provided to the council, and you guys will make a decision. There will be recommendations. On August 4th, which was a Saturday, there was an email sent to me by a former accountant with the city of Oakridge that contained a lot of false statements. On August 5th, which was a Sunday, a request for a copy of that email was sent to Louis Gomez by a community member. I hadn't even seen it yet. If you are, and I know that it was addressed to me, but it was CC'd to the council. That is the email where I was accused of bringing the former accountant to Oakridge for a meeting under false pretenses. The meeting she referred to, I didn't set up. It was set up by the mayor, and it was a transition meeting, is what I was told, and for as far as I know, that's all it was. There were other aspects in that email that met the definition of defamation, which for any of you that don't know, that's transmission of false statements. When I first tried to track down how this happened, I used a different word, because I wanted to see if anybody would catch it. I used slander to see if anyone knew the difference. No one did. But defamation is written, slander is spoken. For public officials, which I'm not one, okay, you guys are, for it to become liable, there must be at least a reckless disregard for whether the statement is true or false. The fact that this email was dispersed to a community member, and then another community member brought a copy of it to Louis wanting to know, what is this, why is this out there? I bring this to your attention because you guys really need to address this, because I guarantee you there is not one person who's going to want to put the heart and the soul that I have put in to try and provide you with information, correct your accounting system, and stay with that job if they're going to come under attack. And what's really disturbing to me is the person that requested the information is on the committees that have to do with financial of this city. You need to address this. On another note, and I'm going to end on a good one, is that the conversion that Summer and I told you would be flipped on 9/1 was flipped on 9/1. We now have a system that is working. We have balanced the assist system to the bank statements. There are in and out transitions that are still being made from last year that affect those things, but it has been balanced. It's the first time in a lot of years it's been balanced, and it took a lot of hard work and effort on Summer's part. That email also had some negative statements about Summer. She's poured a lot of time and a lot of heart to help me do this. And I really think it needs to be addressed, and you should find out how that information went public with false statements in it, because it does amount to defamation and libel, of which, if I chose to, my attorney said I have a really good case. I don't want to do that to the city. But I also don't want to have to walk into that office every morning wondering who's going to sabotage what I'm trying to do in there for you. Your finance director, for any of you who don't know this, keeps the money of the community. It's not the money of this little segment of our community, it's of the community as a whole. And I've tried to be a good keeper of that money, and this has upset me, because it's upset me in a huge way, because it's defamation against me when all I have tried, after being asked to step into this job, is to fix things. And I've been accused of being shady because I have tried to find this information without bringing it inside of a council meeting. So now I'm presenting it to you, and I would hope, just like Dan, that you might want to get to the bottom of this. I realize it's a political year, but
I just want to interrupt you. I have not seen a copy of this, and I would have, but, I mean, let's be real. We know what this is about. People in this town happen to not like Randy driving, and this is just a petty issue. I'm tired of the petty issues. OIP, if he wants to rent that, that's fine. If we need to charge for that, that's fine. But to tack on additional money to rent the park after he's already paying $5,000, almost $5,000 when he puts on these events to the city to rent the park. He doesn't, we don't waive any fees for him. He pays all the fees, I mean, to the max. I mean, I think this is just petty.
Well, and as I was saying, I think it's typically fair to interrupt somebody when they're talking. To me, it's not petty. It's public property used to the benefit. And for me, it's not about Randy personally. I've always Well, you can, you know, whatever side comment you want. For me, I've always commended Randy or anybody else as a business person that can promote an event that is sold out year after year after year after year. From that standpoint, he does a hell of a job. But at the end of the day, we are renting Greenwater's Park, not Greenwater's Park and the rest area. You know, by the way, if somebody, a traveler comes through and wants to walk their dog, unless they want to have the dog lift a leg on somebody's tent, it's not happening. Or the industrial park that has nothing to do with Greenwater's Park. And it's not about Randy to me, because this is a permit that would apply to anybody that uses all those facilities. And, you know, as long as we're talking about the event most effective, let's remember, we're talking about an event. Let's remember, we're talking about an event with gross sales of $135,000 per weekend. Per
And
weekend.
good for him.
Yeah, good on him.
But it also benefits the whole community.
That's right, yes, it does.
Sure.
Hotels in town are used.
Including yours.
No, wait a
And
minute,
the
wait a minute.
restaurants in
Wait a minute,
town.
wait a minute.
No, wait, let me
Okay.
talk. Can I talk for just a second? Okay. The grocery stores, the restaurants, everybody in town makes money from these events. And who else would this affect besides mountain bike Oregon? Who else would use this?
Don't have any other venues that big.
No.
Would be a future.
So to me, I kind of look at it as it's targeting this event. Now, they don't have to do this event here. There's a lot of other places where they have mountain bike trails. I think this is a good event. It brings money into our town that we need. And I think if we, you know, it's like we're putting a target on them, to me, by doing this.
And just
If
It
we
does.
want to charge them a little more, I can understand that too. But then that's a 50% price increase.
well,
I mean,
the
that goes
amounts I,
from $500 to $750.
and
That's pretty
the
significant.
amounts I disagree with, the principle, and by all means, and, okay, anybody that has ever seen a car in a parking lot, at a motel or a restaurant or a gas station or whatever, with a bicycle rack on it, you cannot say that cycling does not bring something to the town. It absolutely does. Before somebody tells me how the motels were full, mine included, they need to know a little bit more about owning and operating a motel, because quite frankly, for the first 3 years that Elizabeth and I were here, we had more people from Israel, and you can check the public comment section on that one, and it's a matter of record.